The movie starts off in the not-too-distant future. It introduces us to two young sisters, Nell and Eva, who reside in a secluded house in the woods with their father. Eva dreams of becoming a dancer, so she puts in a lot of effort for the dance contest. Nell is preparing for college, so she's also working hard for her entrance exam. They occasionally go to the city, meet their friends, and Eva goes to her classes. One day, while they were going about their usual activities, the lights suddenly went out. Nell reminded her father that they have solar panels, but he hasn't yet gotten an inverter. Robert replied that a new inverter would arrive in a few days. With no other choices, they had to manage without electricity. Nell needed to study, so she fetched a lamp from the car's trunk. However, the trunk malfunctioned and opened, and the car's lights turned on. The car's battery drained because the lights were on all night. The next day, the car wouldn't start for their trip to town. Robert fetched a battery from the storage room. Then, Nell turned on the radio and found out that the nearby power plant had been shut down due to some issue. Robert tries to use another battery, but it also fails, leaving the car unable to start. They maintain their daily routine by using candles for light at home. Nell is uncertain about whether she'll pass her exam. In response, her father Robert reassures her that hard work can help achieve anything in life. The following day, Robert has a brainwave. He owns a woodcutter and decides to use its technology to get the car running. It takes him 10 days to accomplish this. When they finally head towards the city after these 10 days, they notice that all the surrounding houses are abandoned and devoid of inhabitants. Upon reaching the superstore to buy supplies, they find it completely empty, as people have taken everything. Stan, the superstore's owner, points a gun at Robert. The power outage has caused people to lose control, and some have even resorted to robbing the store. This has made Stan vigilant. Robert then shows Stan some money and manages to secure groceries that would last for 3 months. There was no petrol available in the city, so Robert gets a large amount of petrol from Stan. After that, they all spend some time in the city. Eva attends her dance class, and Nell, who has developed feelings for a guy named Eli, goes to meet him. They have a party at a location where Nell and her boyfriend Eli end up getting intoxicated. Later in the night, Robert and Eva arrive to pick up Nell. Nell thoroughly enjoyed the time she spent with Eli that day. Meanwhile, Eva is feeling down, doubting her dancing abilities, and fearing she might not win the competition. Nell reassures her, telling her not to worry too much, and that she is indeed a good dancer. On their way home, they notice a group of people standing at one spot on the road. Robert steps out of the car to find out what's going on. The people are armed with guns, and they instruct Robert to leave. Robert departs from the scene, leaving the intentions of the armed group unknown. This situation instills fear in them. The next day at breakfast, Nell inquires about their next trip to town. Robert responds that he's uncertain at the moment. Given that they have sufficient supplies and the unsettling circumstances outside, he suggests they should refrain from going to the city. Nell is upset by this, as she was looking forward to seeing Eli. One day, while Robert was cutting a tree, a sudden scream from him alarms Nell and Eva. They rush to him and discover that Robert's leg has been severed in an accident, causing him to lose a significant amount of blood. With his last words, Robert urges his daughters to stick together and look after each other. Tragically, Robert succumbs to his injuries and dies from excessive blood loss. Nell and Eva spend the entire night beside Robert's body, mourning their loss. The following morning, they bury their father's body. This event deeply saddens them both. Having lost their mother in their early years, their father was their everything. Now, they only have each other for support and try to focus on their work. However, they struggle to do so. The situation worsens when the electricity goes out, leaving them without music. Eva tries to dance to the ticking of a clock in the house, but she quickly grows bored and finds it hard to concentrate on anything else. Eva suggests to Nell that they should use the generator for a while, as she's tired of their current living conditions. Nell argues that they need fuel for the generator, and they only have enough left for a trip to the city. Eva insists that they still have sufficient fuel for a city trip. Nell advises that they should conserve fuel for emergencies and not use it carelessly. Eva, who wanted to listen to music, is upset by this. She becomes so distressed that she stops speaking to Nell. They have some chickens, so they usually have eggs for breakfast. One night, their chickens are taken by wild animals. This upsets Nell, and to make matters worse, Eva isn't speaking to her, leaving Nell to eat meals alone. Nell makes several attempts to reconcile with Eva, who responds by expressing her wish that their mother was alive to understand her feelings. During the night, Nell has a disturbing dream about wild animals digging up their father's grave. This distresses her greatly, and seeing this, Eva offers her support. This incident makes Eva realize that they can't afford to be at odds with each other. They need each other's support more than ever. A few days later, it starts to rain, causing water to leak from the roof of their house. One night, while Nell is searching for her books, she stumbles upon a box of chocolates with only one piece left and some gum. She calls Eva over, but Eva ignores her, so Nell eats the chocolate. She enjoys the rare treat of having chocolate after such a long time. Eva then asks Nell to let her run the generator for 10 minutes. Nell refuses, saying they can't start the generator, but offers Eva the gum instead. Eva is delighted to see the gum. However, she soon realizes that it must have come with the chocolate. In response to Eva's anger, Nell explains that she ate the chocolate because she doesn't like it. This sparks a fight between the two sisters. Their argument is interrupted by a knock at the door, which frightens them into retrieving their father's gun. Upon cautiously opening the door, they find Eli, who had come looking for Nell. He explains that he was worried because Nell hadn't been to the city in a while, which is why he came to check on her. Nell informs Eli about their father's death and the situation they're in. Eli shares that the city is also in a dire state with no electricity or petrol, forcing everyone to travel by bicycle. The law enforcement and police are in disarray. Eli spends the night at their place. The next morning, Nell shows Eli a large tree that's spacious enough to live inside. This is where Nell and Eli grow closer. Eva disapproves of their intimacy and begins to ignore Eli. Eli notices this, and Nell explains that Eva is preoccupied with her dancing, which is why she's ignoring him. One day, Eva warns Nell to be careful and avoid getting pregnant, as they wouldn't be able to handle such a situation. As time went by, Nell and Eli developed a deep affection for each other. One day, Eli shares with Nell about a place he knows where people are living comfortably, and he's heard that they even have electricity. He suggests that they should go and see it for themselves. However, this place is quite distant, which makes traveling there risky. When Eli shares this plan with Eva, she refuses to go due to the potential danger. Nell makes numerous attempts to convince Eva to accompany them, but Eva remains firm in her decision. Eva tells Nell that she's free to go if she wants to, and she won't stop her. As Nell prepares to leave, she breaks down in tears, reminding Eva that they are each other's support system. Eva responds by saying that they've made different choices, and no one is to blame for this. Eva was deeply upset and shed many tears after Nell's departure. Nell, after walking a short distance with Eli, realized she couldn't leave Eva alone. Their father had instructed them to look after each other, and she felt she couldn't abandon Eva. She discussed this with Eli. Eli understood her feelings, but he also felt it was crucial for him to find the place he'd heard about, so he proceeded alone. In the meantime, Nell returned to Eva, and their reunion brought them both great joy. They began studying the plants in their vicinity, understanding that if they were to survive there, they needed to know everything about their environment. They gathered fruits, dried them, and stored them for the winter. They started to adapt to their new life, finding joy in the simple things. A couple of months later, Nell was concerned that she might be pregnant. However, after taking a pregnancy test, she discovered she wasn't pregnant, which brought her a sense of relief. That night, the two sisters decide to have a party. Nell suggests they could run the generator for 10 minutes, a proposal that delights Eva. They dance together and watch old video recordings of their parents, which stirs up emotions in them. One day, while Nell is out in the forest gathering fruits and Eva is at home chopping wood, a man named Sten unexpectedly shows up. He looks around and realizes that Robert is nowhere to be found. When Sten asks Eva about Robert's whereabouts, she lies and says that their father is nearby. However, Sten sees through her lie and approaches Eva. He then assaults Eva. When Nell returns, she finds Eva in a terrible state. She assists Eva and takes care of her. However, the traumatic event leaves Eva mentally distressed, causing her to lose interest in everything and eat very little. Eva also worries that Sten might have taken all their fuel. Nell, being clever, had previously hidden the fuel in a secret location to prevent Eva from using it. One day, in an attempt to cheer up Eva, Nell played some music, but Eva didn't seem to enjoy it. On another day, Nell discovered an envelope in the cupboard with the word pumpkin written on it. Their father used to affectionately call Nell Pumpkin, so she assumed that the envelope might contain a letter from him. However, when she opened it, she found pumpkin seeds inside, which deeply saddened both sisters. Eva had now become reclusive, refusing to leave the house. One day, while Nell was working outside, she injured herself and was unable to stand due to severe back pain. This forced Eva to finally leave the house to help her sister. After rescuing Nell, Eva broke down in tears, confessing that she was terrified. At times, she felt as if she was drowning. Despite their hardships, they continued to support each other. One day, Eva becomes sick and they discover she's expecting a baby. Nell begins to research about abortion. However, Eva decides she wants to keep the baby, believing that children shouldn't pay for their parents' mistakes. The child gives her a reason to live. A few months pass, and Eva, who isn't getting enough protein during her pregnancy, becomes weak. Nell learns from her research that Eva needs meat in her diet. For the first time, Nell attempts to hunt in the forest. After much effort, she succeeds. She feels guilty about hunting, but knows it's necessary for Eva's health. Soon, Eva starts to regain her strength. One night during dinner, they smell smoke. Fearing that others might discover they're living alone, they turn off all the house lights and cover the windows. They continue living this way for several days. One day, Eva begins to experience labor pains. Nell helps her to a large tree with ample space inside, where Eva safely gives birth. They're both overjoyed at the sight of the baby. During this time, a storm also arrives. After the storm, when they return home, they find that the house's roof is damaged and the house is no longer suitable to live in. It would be too difficult to repair it. Eva tells Nell that they have to abandon this house as they can't live there anymore. People in the past lived without houses, and they decide they will do the same and build a new home. They can't continue living in fear of the people around them. Nell collects some important items from the house, including family mementos and crucial books, before they set the house on fire. And with this, the movie concludes as they decide to adopt the natural lifestyle that people followed centuries ago. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.